What actually happens when you deny yourself and when you don't care about yourself but more about others? You kind of drain yourself. You get weak. You start not believing and trusting in yourself because that pattern came from your past when you were a child, and you were probably criticized and you were made to feel that you have to take care of other people first before you even start to think about yourself. And by doing so, you kind of forgot who you are. You kind of forgot that you have needs. You kind of forgot that you are absolutely right to take care of your needs first. And if you keep going like that and you keep living that pattern, then it drains you and you burn out, because you get into the habit of proving to the world how important you are and how good you are. And deep within you is probably, a sentence saying, I'm not good enough. I'm not perfect enough. I'm not right. And those sentences deep within you, they hurt you, they block you, and most of all, they diminish you, they rob your energy. You get sick. And by trying to prove to the world that you are enough, you will overwhelm yourself. You will take on too many things, help too many people besides you, and you burn out, or you get overwhelmed, depressed because you think you can't do it. Again, you'll show to yourself that you're just not good enough because you can't do it. All the other people can do it. You can look around, they do all those jobs and all those things. They're successful, they're happy, they're whatever. So it seems anyway on the outside. But you feel like you just can't do it. And that's just because you have few patterns that run yourself automatic that block you and that keep you in that rut of always proving to yourself that you're not good enough, and always overworking, through over helping, you do more than enough to kind of like spread your energies so thin that there's none left for you. And that's dangerous. That is not healthy. It's what you're used to, and it might feel good to a certain extent because it feels good to be validated from the outside, to be acknowledged, to be seen, as long as you serve, of course, because when you stop doing that, then they might even treat you like trash or not see you at all anymore. So that pattern works wonderfully if you just serve the other people, if you just meet their needs, then they might be the nicest people. But as soon as you stop to take care of your own needs, they might just turn their back around at you, and you will feel alone and left out. And that pain of being left out, being left alone, is so big to your nervous system that you won't be able to bear it. So you believe, and that's why you keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, showing how good you are, going over all your limitations, over all your boundaries, over everything. Yeah, you might not even know your boundaries anymore because you did that so long that you do not know anymore how it feels like, what you actually want. And that is such a big pain, because it's a repeating pattern, that you try to prove that you're good and that you're a good person, that you help people, that you're there for them, and it sucks out so much that you break down after a while, or you'll get sick, and you'll get down on yourself again, saying like, oh, I can't do it, I'm just dumb, I'm stupid, I'm not a good person, I'm just unorganized, I don't have enough discipline, whatever it is that you keep telling yourself to put yourself further down, until you're so deep down that you either think about killing yourself or getting all your energies back together again, forcefully almost, to push up again and show the world again how good you actually are. And that is such a destroying pattern that I just have to talk about it. I've been through it myself. I came out of it, and it's not easy, and I needed help getting through that, understanding what was going on, and then having help that, to figure it out and to get out on the other side. But I just want to let you know, I know how it feels like, I know how it is, and I actually do have a program now that helps especially women that are in that pattern of they're not seen, they're not recognized, they're not taken seriously with their own needs, and they want to show up in the world again. They want somebody on their side, and most and foremost, their own selves, to feel themselves again. They want to get in contact with themselves again, so they know what they want, and they know what they feel, and what is right and what is wrong, and to understand, because so often we are just confused. There's just this big confusion in our head, with all the thoughts and all the things that's going on, especially when you went through like narcissistic relationships that can drain you so much, and that can, confuse you so much that you can like completely lose yourself within it. And the damage it does is so big, because it affects all the areas of your life, your health, your family, because, if you have children, they will feel that. Your job, if you work, you won't be able to concentrate correctly, you will be like, sidetracked and everything else, because you keep thinking about the situations and trying to make sense of all of that, and trying to understand what is going on and why people behave like they behave, and it takes so much energy out of it that it leaves you empty, and you do not have the power, and sometimes you might not even have the power to pull through the daily tasks of, cleaning the dishes, doing laundry, taking care of the kids, doing groceries, all that kind of stuff might be such a big burden to you, because there's no energy left anymore, because you've been drained by other people, by the situations therefore, and by stuff happening to you, by things, situations that come up in life, usually similar situations, always and always again, because we are creators, and what we feel inside we actually produce in the outside. So if we carry those painful patterns within us, we create those patterns over and over and over again on the outside world through the situations. That's why I always say, like, life is the school, And if you're interested in that, I keep talking about it in Germany here where I am. Like I said, I have programs and gone through with women and stuff, and I think this is so important that I want to bring to the whole world, because it's really elementary, it is so important to understand what is going on so you can free yourself of the chains, of the cage that you're sitting in. You might even be wrapped in chains sitting in a cage. You know that feeling? It's like somebody put a cage around you and you got used to that cage, and you even try to protect the cage against other people because you're so used to sitting in that cage, and that is so painful. And since it is so painful and the wound is so big, you try to ignore it, you try to distract yourself. Maybe you eat too much, maybe you binge watch TV, maybe you do other things, to kind of like, distract yourself. You try, or you like to buy stuff, or all those kinds of things, or you misuse substances, like you drink too much alcohol, you take drugs, actually, you smoke, whatever it is, it's usually the outlet of the inner pain. That it's not that you don't want to look at it. Many people want to solve it, but they just don't know how, because they don't understand what's really going on, because this whole situation leaves you so confused that you cannot make sense with it with your brain, and that is not your fault, it is because of your nervous system. And we do have those emergency programs that run our bodies, so if you're scared, if there's danger, you have the fight, flight, or freeze, and if you can't fight, or you couldn't fight and you couldn't flee, and then you froze, and in that state your nervous system is in. It is so normal that you get so confused, because you do not run, you do not fight anymore, because your nervous system was trained to understand there's no chance of fighting and running. So you're in a permanent freeze mode, so to speak, which is highly, highly, highly damaging to your whole life, like I said. And therefore it's so important to look at it and to really get in touch with yourself again. And I would love to make like a course in English as well. So if you feel like you're touched in any way, if you think that this makes sense and your heart opens when you hear this, or your gut, kind of like goes, wow, like, that feeling of a release inside, that's a sign, because your body is your best tool you got with you, and it gives you signals all the time, and it shows you what is good for you, what is not. But we were taught not to listen to your body, because the other people know more about you than you do. That's what we got taught, by our teachers, by our parents, by the doctors. Everybody else knows more about you and your body than you yourself, because you were not allowed to listen to it. You were not allowed to, go for your own needs, to talk about your own feelings, and therefore you learned that you just don't know. Everybody else knows. You have to listen to everybody else telling you what to do, because you don't know and you can't trust yourself anymore. And therefore it's so important that you start listening to your body again, to your best tool that you have with you. And you start to listen and you start to feel again and to get in contact with it again, because your body is your best friend, and your body wants to protect you. Your body wants you to be happy. Your body wants to be, free flowing. It wants to help you with the signals it gives you to grow, because we are here to grow, and to experience all and everything, which is wonderful, because you are magic. You are a light on this planet. You are magic, and it's up to you to step up and actually claim your magic, claim your light and your love that you carry within you. But you have to do that. You have to be willing to do the first step. You have to be willing to open your heart again and start trusting, and even if it's in little tiny steps. And if you get in contact with your body right now and it says, wow, I feel seen here. I feel that there is something that can help me. I feel that Sonia knows what I'm going through, because I went through it myself. Then please contact me, and let's do the first steps. I know how painful it is, and I know how painful it can be, but all the pain that you ignore right now is not worth, or all the pain that you might have to go through. No, all the pain that you ignore right now is not worth it holding on longer to it, because you will suffer longer when you do not go through that pain of freeing yourself. And once you've freed yourself, then it's a total different level. It's a total different feeling. It's a total different world. You might still live in this world, and it looks like from the outside, other people might say, hey, you didn't change anything. I mean, you're still living in the same house and, surrounded by the same people, but you will feel different, because something in you shifted. And by you feeling differently, you will radiate something differently, because we are beings of frequency. We have a frequency. We are electric beings, and if your frequency raises because you went through the fear, you went through the pain, and you healed your wounds, then you have a different frequency. And we attract each other through frequencies. So if you're not in fear mode anymore and trying to ignore and push stuff away, but you are actually in love mode, you can imagine that you attract totally different people and situations in your life, because the people that need the suffering and that need to be the victim in order to get their energies, they won't be attracted to you anymore, because you can't serve them anymore. They will feel that, and they will go on to other people where they still feel seen as a victim. So as soon as you are ready to step out of the victimhood, you're right here. And as soon as you say you want to be a creator, you actually, you are one, but you want to actually consciously start to create your own life, then you're right here. If you do not want to tell you any more excuses why you cannot move forward anymore, then you're right here. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you, because growth is what we're here for. And to live fulfilled needs a lot of growth. And I always say, if you want to reach mastership on this planet, in this world and life game, you need to be able to step up and train, because nobody was just headed to masterhood. Because if you train, if you want to be a master, you have to train, and you will get bruised. You will feel pain because you will train. And you cannot go and try to be a master if you try to avoid pain and duck around it and stuff, because you just don't learn. You will run away and you will never learn to be a master. So it is important to step up, train, understand what's going on. And I do that with like a type of adventure map, I always call it, because life is like an adventure. And through that adventure map, with a compass where we show actually where you're stepping, what your next steps are to get through this jungle of confusion, to get to your treasures that are buried within you. That's fun. It's fun. It's sometimes hard. It's an adventure. And you have to be ready to go on this adventure. So, if that for some reason made any sense to you, please leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, and I will keep talking about this in the future, because this is important. And I want to touch the women's hearts, because it's our time to raise as a woman with our power, with our female power. It is important that we rise and that we finally see each other and help each other to be seen, to understand, and to step forward together. Because I believe that we can make this planet a whole better place if we finally implement the female powers that are missing right now. I'm looking forward to getting to know you. Until then, so long.